Good morning. Good morning. I hope everyone's doing well on this rainy Wednesday. My name is Moradeyo Adeyi, and I'm going to be presenting this morning on pregnancy and infant loss. I am a educator, birth coach, as well as a psychotherapist. So thank you all for joining us this morning. I'd like to welcome all of our Facebook followers. Welcome to the space. Good morning. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning.
Is there anything that the participants are going to need this morning? You can let them know that.
Nope, just listening ears. Good morning, Adam. Good morning, Tracy Ann.
Good morning, Moradeyo. How you doing this morning?
Good. How are you?
Every day is a good day when you wake up.
Oh,
Very true.
Good morning, peace and blessings, y'all.
Good morning. Good morning, Teresa.
Peace and blessing. Good morning, sister. What's your name? Morning, family. Peace and blessing.
Good morning, Veronica.
hi, good morning.
Good morning, Veronica.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Trying to wake up. It says you're an educator. Is that traditional education system or
Yes.
what grades, or is it
I
collegiate?
actually teach first-year graduate students at Hunter College.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
What subject do you teach?
I teach a practice lab on oppression, and I also teach human behavior.
Ah.
All right, everyone, we're going to get started now. Please go on mute and let's cross fingers this plays correctly.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, releasing, we're teaching. moving. Together, together, we're learning, discerning, we're striving. Together, together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together, together.
Good morning again to everyone live on Facebook, here in the Zoom space. Again, my name is Moradeyo Adeyi. I am a psychotherapist, educator, as well as a birth coach. And this morning, I will be presenting on Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month.
Do you want the next slide?
Yes, please.
All right.
Okay, so for those that don't know, in the US, National Pregnancy and Infant Loss Month has been recognized in October since 1988. And pregnancy and infant loss affects 1 in 4 women. According to the CDC, non-Hispanic Black women and American Indian, Alaska Native women are twice as likely to experience stillbirth in comparison to non-Hispanic whites, Asian or Pacific Islanders, and Hispanics. The reason why I wanted to highlight this month is because when we talk a lot in general about childbirth and pregnancy, there is an emphasis on everything going very smoothly, bringing the child to full term, bringing the baby home. But I believe that we need more space to talk about what happens when things don't go as planned, when mothers are unable to carry their child to full term, and what that means as far as their experiences with pregnancy and motherhood. Next slide, please. So the difference between a stillbirth versus miscarriage. According to the CDC, a miscarriage refers to a loss before the 20th week of pregnancy. A stillbirth happens at 20 weeks of pregnancy and later. And the CDC estimates that approximately 24,000 babies are still born in the United States annually. So how does infant loss impact mental health? I can tell you from my own experience as a mental health therapist, I have encountered a lot of women, particularly in the pandemic, who have experiences not only a miscarriage, but multiple. And what I have found is that they do present with symptoms of postpartum depression. A 2016 study in the Journal of Women's Health found that bereaved participants show high levels of mental health stress up to 9 months following a perinatal loss with limited rates of treatment. I highlight that because specifically with Black women, there is a lack of treatment in general around postpartum depression, and they're usually not screened appropriately after loss. People who lose a pregnancy or infant may often present with symptoms of depression, anxiety, insomnia, and PTSD. So why is this important? I believe that during the pandemic, giving birth presented new challenges that we were not expecting or have never experienced before in our lifetimes. And I say that because for many of the women that I've actually for many of the parents that I've worked with, it was very challenging to deliver or attempt to deliver their babies during the pandemic due to, lack of providers being available because of COVID, not being able to have their partners or family members in the room while giving birth, having access to proper postpartum screening, or also not having a strong relationship with their providers, prenatal or postnatal. Since the pandemic increased isolation for all of us, psychotherapist Haley Nadich notes that the rates of postpartum are actually the highest we've seen in years. And so it's actually so important that we, as a community, encourage our family members, our friends who have potentially experienced a loss during COVID to have space to share and also to have resources. We don't heal in isolation, we heal in community. Could you actually put that slide back up, Tiffany?
Yes, give me one moment. I'm in Facebook.
No problem. I'd like to offer the space up for anyone who would like to comment so far on the presentation, or if you are comfortable sharing your own experiences with pregnancy or infant loss.
I can share more, Dale. Sometimes with these topics, it could be a little bit, encouragement that needs to come along. I personally have not experienced pregnancy or infant loss. However, my family has.
I'd like to offer the space up for anyone who would like to comment so far on the presentation.
That needs to come along. I personally have not experienced pregnancy or infant loss. However, my family has.
I'd like to offer the space up for anyone who would like to comment so far on the presentation.
That needs to come along. I personally have not experienced pregnancy or infant loss. However, my family has.
I'd like to offer the space up for anyone who would like to comment so far on the presentation.
That needs to come along. I personally have not experienced pregnancy or infant loss. However, my family has.
Offer the space up for anyone who would like to comment so far on the presentation.
Y'all having technical difficulty. You're having technical difficulty.
Offer the space up for anyone who would like to.
Hello? Can't hear you, Tiffany. Can't hear nobody.
Can you all hear me still?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Well, I would like to offer the space to anyone who would like to share their experiences with pregnancy and infant loss. If you're comfortable.
Hello, we on I'm part of postpartum awareness team that works with Shawnee.
Amazing.
We're doing it. We're creating what do you call it? We're creating like a model where other people could use it, for the thing. And we're supposed to be having a big event next year. I believe I forgot was April or May. I'm not really sure, but I'm part of the research team. So
Awesome.
one of the things that we're doing is researching, the effects of of the different effects with different women and different and like different. One of the things we were talking about was how like women who are dealing with disabilities, like what's happening with them. So that's one of the things that came up for us, in our group. And Also, another thing that I talked about, we talked about was women who are surrogates, like how do they feel like after they, give
Mm.
their, like giving the child to them, because even though they are the surrogate, they still are going to be having like, like the like different things happen to your body after you have a baby, So that was one of the issues that we wanted to that we were talking about. So we meet like once a month.
Okay.
And I think this Thursday is the meeting. I'm not really sure. I believe it is. If I'm not wrong, this Thursday is the meeting. We meet every once a month at I believe 6 o'clock or 6:30. So we've been doing a lot of work. And it's a big group and a lot of people that's been working with it. And we have mothers, we have nurses, we have
Mm.
a whole bunch of people that's doing different things. Like we have, it's a big thing. I'm not really sure if I have the information to look in there. I could look and see, but I could put my email, and then if you're interested in joining the group.
Definitely.
Yeah, because we're doing like a really big. I forgot what you call it when you like creating like we're creating like a format where people all over the world can use the format, and
Okay.
train people, stuff like that. So we'd probably be glad to have you be part of the team. So
Amazing.
yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Would anyone else like to share?
My name is Tracy, and my son is 4 years old. Why is it echoing? Oh, sorry. My name is Tracy, and my son is 4 years old. And I did not have I haven't had an infant mortality, but what I do have is PTSD from having an emergency C-section.
Mm.
I was thinking like sometimes I think that I'm like over it, but then
Mhm.
yesterday my sister was talking about her friend, and she said that her friend is pregnant again, and she's still traumatized from having an emergency C-section. And I'm like, oh my God. And then it brought up like this feeling in the pit of my stomach, and then I felt alongside my scar, and then I teared up again. And
Mm.
I just feel like a lot of people were telling me like that I had what's the word? What's the phrase? Postpartum depression. And I
Mm.
kept
Yes.
saying, I don't feel like I have postpartum depression. Like I feel like I have PTSD, like I'm traumatized. And it wasn't until I got to the doc, and everybody was like guessing it off. And I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna have another kid again, because that just was a really traumatic experience. And all the women that were mothers, not to blame them, but
Mhm.
they were just like, oh, you're gonna, everyone says that you'll get over it, you'll get over it. And it wasn't until I went to my doctor, and she was like, I said, listen, I explained it to her, and she was like, no, this is a real thing. And
Mhm.
she was like, you should seek therapy. And I did not seek therapy right away, because I was just caught up with being a mother and not putting myself first. And I don't think I'm exactly in therapy for that per se, but
Mhm.
I do. Shawnee has a support group, so I'm a part of that. But I just think about it like it comes in and it goes in and out. You know what I mean? Like all the traumas around, and just even what Teresa brought up about the surrogate, all the traumas around childbearing is just it goes on and on and on, and it's something that's really not addressed or acknowledged. And I appreciate you bringing up, things like this are important, so I appreciate it. And I'm complete.
I appreciate you sharing, Tracy Ann. And I think that you brought up a good point about the fact that we tend to not speak enough about birth trauma, and we don't make enough space to talk about our experiences in childbirth in general. And what I have witnessed in my work is that often Black women are suffering in silence and are trying to just be moms and continue on, but that the effects really show up in our bodies. It shows up, in our interactions, even with our kids, our relationship with our own bodies. So I really appreciate you sharing your experiences. Is there anyone else who would like to come into the space?
I just want to add to what Tracy Ann was saying, was that that was one of the things that a lot of the facilitators from the things that even the doctors were telling a woman that they were okay, and and not to deal with it, that there was nothing wrong with them. And so that's something that happens with a lot of BIPOC people, is that when they are experiencing the postpartum depression, or the PTSD, that they say, oh, there's nothing wrong with them. And so a lot of mothers, are not speaking up because the doctors and the nursing staff was telling them that, that it was just normal, and their family members were saying the same thing. So this is why one of the things that Shannon wanted to bring the awareness to is because there are a lot of people, like you said, suffering in silence. But in the medical field, it's like we have this thing called they're disrespected. So it's like we're just bringing an awareness to the people of what's going on, so mothers can get help. Because like there were a lot of mothers who were saying that they felt like the family members didn't understand them, and so they couldn't tell them that they were hurting. And
Yeah.
so they have been suffering for a long time with postpartum, like years after it happened. That's how bad it was. So this is the awareness that we're trying to bring to the community. I put my phone number because this way y'all could call me, and then I can get them, add y'all to the tell them to add y'all to the WhatsApp group, and then this way y'all could pick where y'all want to be at. Okay.
Amazing. Thank you so
Okay.
much,
It's a blessing.
Teresa.
No problem.
If there are any other comments before we move on, please let me know.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello? Awesome, great. Sorry, everybody, for the technical difficulties this morning. I was sharing that I personally haven't experienced pregnancy or infant loss of my own. However, in my family, we have. So one was due to a birth defect, that which we were prepared, or as prepared as we could be, for the fact that this baby may or may not make it out of the pregnancy, let alone how long they would survive after birth. On the flip side of that, we've had two babies transition from SIDS, one at 3 months, one at 5 days, and another one who was 21 weeks. My sister went into premature labor, and they were not able to save the baby. This is very traumatic for those women. The baby that had the birth defects, this was almost 35 years ago. And it is still something, a trauma that my aunt carries with her. The others, it's something they never recover from. They have tried to, but of course, around the birthdays and the anniversaries of the transitions, it becomes very dark for them. And just as someone who is a relative to them, what is something that you could give as advice to those of us to support them and help them through it? While the rest of us, our lives have gone on and we have not been as impacted by them, we still want to give that support.
I would say that I think creating space for mothers or partners who have lost their babies is important. I think that sometimes, because we're uncomfortable with death or grief, that we sometimes don't make enough space for our friends and family who are experiencing this specific type of loss. I think also what I found to be most interesting in my work is that there's so many resources, not only in New York, but also New Jersey, around pregnancy and infant loss. There's a lot of support groups, and there also are significant resources for dads who've experienced infant loss. And I think that that is important too, because I think that while we as women go through a specific type of grief, losing a child, I think that it also can be challenging for our partners to not only make space for our grief, but also their own grief. And so I think I would also offer those resources because there really are so many. In addition to that, there are specific therapists who deal with things like pregnancy and infancy, infant loss, as well as birth trauma that is not advertised to our communities. So I am definitely happy to be of a resource to share resources that I've come across in my work, because we do need to create more space for our community to heal. And what better time than this month?
Thank you for that. And any of the resources that you have that you would like to share, you can go back into the Facebook and you can drop those links in there. You can also drop any of them here and we will share them with the community.
Amazing. I do want us to spend a few minutes. I do want to share with everyone about my birth care coordination program. So, I am a birth coach and I work with new and expecting moms who need more support, either prenatal or postnatal. What that support looks like is, any support around postpartum depression, any support around getting connected to the right specialists or providers. I help them get connected with doulas if they're interested in working with doulas, but I also work with women who have experienced loss and are looking for more support. Currently, I'm working with two women who have very different stories. One is she has a 1-year-old and she's dealing with significant postpartum depression. So we are creating wellness routines for her. We also are, linking her to mommy support groups so that she does not feel as isolated. She's a single mom. And my other client currently has experienced 3 miscarriages in the last year and a half. And so we're doing a lot of body affirmation work. We are working on her feelings around loss, linking her also to support groups, creating more wellness routines and, body awareness in addition to grounding exercises and breathing work, breath work. The program is 3 months long. It is, I meet bi-weekly with my clients, virtually or in person. And really the purpose is to be able to advocate for women who have not received the support they need, and also to walk them through whatever it is that is preventing them from showing up for themselves or showing up fully in a healthy and positive way for their child as well. So I am offering $200 off of my program. It is a pay what you can program. So if you are interested or any new and expecting moms who are looking for more support, you can message me directly. My information will be provided at the end of this presentation, and you can text me, call me, and we can set up a discovery call. And that's my information there. It's always MLove on every platform, my phone number and email, whichever way you want to reach me. I also would like to encourage y'all to share any love offerings or donations that you can. You can automate this based on what you feel comfortable giving with any of these bit.ly links for $25 a month, $50, $75, or $100. And I want to encourage all of you to tune in tomorrow, October 6th, for Rep Your Hood Part 2, which will be facilitated by Shakia Purple Norris.
Thank you very much, Moradeyo. I will take us through the closing slides. Welcome to the Woo Nation, all new members. We want to recognize you, whether you're joining us for the first time in Zoom or Facebook, that you are here. So let us know We want to welcome you to a community where we come to learn, elevate, and ascend. This is the Wake Up Everybody virtual schedule. We're live on Zoom and Facebook 5 days a week, Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. and Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 to 7:30. If you want a notification when it is time to join us on one of these platforms, you could text the word Woo Nation in all cap locks to 74121. And make sure you shop our swag shop. It's always gift giving season. COVID be COVID-ing, and the weather has changed. So please go to bit.ly/Woo Swag. Get your Woo merch, your t-shirts, your sweatshirts, your face mask, your mug, so that you are ready for all seasons. And thank you, everyone. Here's how you stay in touch. Make sure you register weekly at bit.ly/Wake Up Movement. Join us on Facebook at bit.ly/Woo Community. That is our private Facebook group. Or you can follow the content on the public page, which is bit.ly/Woo Nation. On Instagram, follow us at Wake Up Everybody Virtual. YouTube is bit.ly/Woo on YouTube. And last and certainly not least, please email us at info.wakeupseries@gmail.com with any additional questions, comments, feedback. And of course, if you're interested in volunteering to help keep this program going, you can let us know there. At this time, I ask all participants who are still in the space to please come off of mute so that they could give a verbal praise and thanks to Moradeyo for sharing and letting her be with us this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sister.
Thank you.
Thank you
Appreciate
for
all the
all you
information.
share, all you do.
much.
Thank you for this
Bless
great
you.
presentation on infant
Thank
loss.
you.
And I just want to say, let's move forward,
Look forward to
everybody.
you working
And I
with
love
us
y'all.
and,
Yes.
you know, doing some great work with us, and you
Mhm.
doing great work all over the world and the community.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you so much
And
for your work.
family for showing up. Love y'all. Peace and blessing.
Yes.
Love y'all.
Peace
Have a
and
great
blessings,
day,
Teresa.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Peace
Have a
and
great
blessings, y'all.
Blessing
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone. You have a great day.
Yes,
Okay.
you too. Have a great day. Love y'all.
Love you too, Teresa.